This is Derek with ESFIworld.com, and we are here with Benjamin Baker, EG's DeMusliM. So first of all, thank you very much for sitting down with us.
It's a pleasure.
So before we get into NASL, you had some visa issues recently that prevented you attending a couple of the bigger events and also caused you to leave the EG house in the U.S. So can you explain that situation a little bit and what exactly happened with that?
Yeah, it was a mix-up of dates. I overstayed in Esther by roughly a day, and if you talk about hours, probably less than a day. Really unfortunate, but if you overstay by 1 hour or 2 months, it's the same penalty, which was to leave, and I had to then work on getting an actual visa, a tourist, or in fact it's a visitor's / working visa for prize money. So yeah, it was a bit of a scramble to get that sorted out, but back now, and I can start practicing again.
So you should be good for the foreseeable future now, as long as you kind of make sure everything's in line.
Yes, and it like, as I said, it was just an honest mix-up, and yeah, I didn't really expect the penalty to be so harsh, and it won't happen again.
All right, so as we said, you had been training in the EG house here in the States before that, and once you arrived back in Europe, it seemed like we didn't really know if you were still practicing. So was it hard to really keep your consistent practice schedule that you had already established in the EG house after leaving that environment that you had been kind of into for so long?
Yeah, but for a number of reasons, I didn't have a PC. I didn't have internet. So those two things combined, I just didn't have... My PC was in Germany, because I used to live in Germany with Rotterdam. So, yeah, I had no PC to actually practice on. My parents recently split up too, so they were both in brand new houses, and I had to get internet installed, which... That's actually a lot of work. I didn't realize it was that much work, given that there wasn't, routing to the house or whatever. Got the PC back from Germany. It was virused up to the yin-yang, so I had to get it repaired. Then the parts actually in the PC didn't work, so I had to get it repaired again. The PC I was playing on wireless internet, which wasn't very good either. And yeah, I was gone for a while. Most of my time was spent trying to get the visa stuff sorted out. My girlfriend also visited because, yeah, she wanted to see me in Orlando, but I didn't turn up, obviously. So she came over, sorting out the visa together, and yeah, so practice didn't really go at all.
So it's pretty safe to say that your play has deteriorated a pretty decent amount since you've gone away without really being able to practice?
Deteriorated, just not improved, rusted up a little, yeah.
Okay, so again, talking about the practice house, there was a recent article on Team Liquid talking about how the EG house really isn't working and most of the players aren't improving. Do you have any comments on really that assertion?
Just that's stupid. I don't really know where that came from, given that, yeah, I don't really know what they have to base that on. I've seen a few recent articles actually that are really silly on Team Liquid, and anything about the house not working, how can they say that when Greg's been winning quite a lot and Axlav also has been doing really well on a lower level? Huck recently won Orlando. I mean, 2 top 8 places at MLG Providence. Yeah, I don't really think anybody can really justify that statement. Yeah, it's dumb.
All right, so moving into NASL, so coming into the finals, you obviously had a pretty tough matchup with Thorzane set up. Given your decreased practice time, were you really confident headed into that, or what were you really what was your outlook on it?
I literally haven't played for about 6 weeks. I've played just this week actually, again on wireless internet. So my practice has been minimal, not as good as I wanted it to be. Practice partners, I've been out of the loop for a while. People didn't know if I was playing or not. So I wasn't confident at all. I only actually knew that I was coming to this tournament a day before too. My visa came back on the 29th, which I was flying out on the 30th. So everything was last minute. Very unsettled mentally. The fact that I did poorly, or the fact that I'd lost so heavily, yeah, no surprise to me at all. I'm really sad it happened, but I'm looking at this as just a stepping stone to get back on track. The fact that I did really well in the regular season to get here, really happy with that. I know I can play really well. I know I could do really well in this tournament if the circumstances were a little in my favour. But given how it went, no, I wasn't confident at all, and I don't think anybody would be after 6 weeks inactivity.
So when you do lose a tournament like this, do you usually have a set process for kind of going back and looking at those games to see where your mistakes were and kind of what you can improve on?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Right now, though, that's so easy to do. It's already been done, even before the games happened. I knew that I just have to practice way more than I have been, and through no fault of my own, really, I didn't get to. When I was in Arizona, I was one of the players that was practicing multiple extra hours per day, like way over the schedule, which is 8 hours per day. And results were really shining through. I was doing really well. I didn't get to go to a few tournaments because of visa issues again, such as China, when I was in really tip-top shape. But yeah, normally if I lost a tournament when I was in top shape, I'd go over it, study my games, check where things went wrong, really be specific to, at this second, this is when I was ahead but slightly lost it, lost my edge, whatever. But this tournament itself, it's just a matter of practice and being a little out of shape.
All right, so moving a little bit more about the general kind of concept of the NASL.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of controversy about the single elimination format at the actual finals. What are your thoughts as a player on single elimination?
If they did seeding correctly, I'd be totally fine with it. But they don't do seeding correctly at all. It's really messed up. So, yeah, there should be controversy. But rather than it being controversy about single elim, it should be about the seeding process.
Okay. NASL's also received a lot of criticism in the community for other things, sometimes, production, things like that. But we haven't really got the viewpoint of the players on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So, first of all, what are your thoughts on the league's format in general as far as the online portion with, the drawn-out league and going through the group stages?
I actually think the format's pretty decent. Obviously, the production isn't as good as some other things, but if you compare it to DreamHack, for example, it is quite far behind. But I don't really know what to blame that on. I don't know if it's people in charge that are just new to this. If so, yeah, they're going to have time to improve. I'm totally fine with that. It's actually quite funny, too, when I've seen stuff mess up. So I have no qualm with it, whatever. As for the format of playing the group system, I really like the group system, having 8 players in a group and 5 groups. I think that's really cool. You get to see a lot of games throughout the season, get to see multiple good games. The thing that I don't like is the fact that they're played so far in advance. The last game I played was literally 2 months ago in NASL, and now it's the finals. Players can either deteriorate or gain shape drastically in that time, which, again, messes up seedings. I think things should be done really up to date. Obviously that has some troubles with people arranging visas, such as the Russian players, because now they have time to get ready and stuff. But in terms of having a fair competition, you have to take everything into account. Given that it is so far in advance, they should have a double elim system too. But yeah, again, I'm just the only thing I'm a little peeved about is certain rule sets they have. I tried to postpone a match one time, and it didn't work out. You're not allowed to postpone it unless it's a major tournament going on, which I didn't know at the time. And I got fined $200 for missing this match. Also, people were really disappointed at me, because I couldn't actually tell people that I missed the match in advance, so lots of people stayed up ridiculous hours to watch me play, and it didn't end up happening, and I didn't have the rights to tell anybody, otherwise I'd have been fined even extra. And yeah, I find that kind of stuff really ridiculous. That shouldn't happen at all. And just postponements in general, they have to be allowed. I mean, I was given a date where I could. I'm given an email where I can, when I play, and I can't argue against this email at all. It's either then or never. So yeah, they have to work on that a little bit. But in general, really happy with how they do things. Every league could make improvements, but yeah, NASL, I think they're getting better.
So, in regards to the live event, now that you're here, what has that been like, both as the experience as well as player handling, accommodations, things like that?
Player handling, lovely hotel. While we've been here, they should have more PCs in the practice area. There's only 4 PCs, and when you've only got 16 players to deal with, I mean, it's not hard to get 16 PCs rigged up, So I'd like that. They give you food and water or drinks in the area. That's really good. It's really dark. I don't think the turnout of an audience has been as good as it could be either. There's a lot of seats here. There's more room than what they have at most MLGs, for seating, but only a tenth of them are filled up. So if something went wrong in the marketing area or promotion of it, I don't know. But yeah, for players in general, I'd just like it if there's more PCs set up for everybody to practice, and that's about it. That's my only qualm. Again, yeah, no other worries or negatives at all. Just yeah.
Okay, so moving away from the NASL, when you first signed with EG in January, it was announced that you were planning on going to Korea then. Obviously, that fell apart for various reasons, but recently you had plans to go again. So what is the status of that? Are those plans still intact, and do you know when you're going to be going?
Those plans are still intact. I did well at MLG Rally, and I earned myself a Code A spot. So I'll be taking that up, definitely, in the near future, be it January, when I believe it's happening. So, and we just made a partnership deal with Slayers, so that's where I'd be staying, in like the Heavy Terran house, and yeah, I'm looking forward to do it. It fell apart last year, purely because, yeah, we opened up an EG house, like, and in the Western world, America especially, StarCraft 2 was growing like at a huge rate, like compared to Korea. Korea was a bit stagnant, although GSL is still the big thing, still the Premier League in the world. Everywhere else was just like progressing like so much faster. So but yeah, now players know they need to go to Korea in order to like improve like that huge amount. Team houses, while they are helpful, such as the EG house, you really need other people to be doing it too, like other teams to be getting their players in tip-top shape, because while we do practice internally, we'll get better. In terms of competition and stuff, we need other people to be doing the same stuff too, so they're all progressing. Like, if you've got all these Koreans in the same houses, or in different houses, and they're all practicing amongst themselves, but then like competing with the other houses, yeah, that's so much more motivation for like getting better, and like it's so much more interesting too, which helps motivation and helps you improve. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Korea.
So you said that you have a Code A spot. There was some discussion about maybe going straight into up and downs. Do you know if you're going in up and downs or just into the basic Code A format? I
actually haven't heard anything. Like, the only I didn't even know if I had a Code A spot actually. This is all stuff that I've just heard, like not even from a direct source. It's been like stuff that I've heard through forums. So yeah, I've no idea.
Okay, so what are your expectations when you go? You know, is being successful in the GSL necessary to it being a worthwhile trip, or is it more of just the training that you're going to get when you go there?
Life experience. I've been to Korea before. Didn't go to Seoul though. That's the big thing. Life experience. Getting better, like improvement-wise. That's the big thing for me. That's the real like clincher of why I'm going. I want to be better as a player. I want to improve a lot. Doing well in GSL, that'd be lovely, but really it's a side thing. Like, I'd love to do well, it'd be great to do well, and I guess if I do improve training there, like that'd be a sign of doing well. But realistically, I just want to improve like a lot. Like I fell off the wheel a little bit recently, so right now I'm just looking at improving in any way, shape or possible, and going to Korea is the best way to do that.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, you guys have a partnership with Slayers now. Have you had a chance to talk with Huck or Puma about really the environment that's in the Slayers house, and do you know what to expect going into it?
I do know what to expect, and I spoke with a few of the Slayers players too at different events. Quite good pals with Ryung actually. Like Ryung and MMA are really cool, and they're both really good Terrans over there. Get on with them really well. They've said like, hey, you're well, like when you're over here, I want you to stand next to me so you can like play and stuff. And yeah, I know what to expect, and I'm looking really forward to it. I remember when we were in discussions with team houses, and the one house I really wanted to be a part of was Slayers. Not only do they have the name Boxer, like big dude, you know, they have lovely jackets, which I really want to wear, and yeah, they're a real Terran heavy powerhouse. And if there's anywhere for me to like improve at a fast rate, it's there. And also their guys just seem really, really nice. Yeah,
absolutely. The Slayers Terrans have been pretty much dominant for quite a while. So another thing that's happening with a lot of non-Koreans is they're traveling to Korea to go train, but they haven't been able to really stick very long. They go, they stay for maybe a couple weeks, then they head home. In an interview we did with Huck, he said that a lot of the Western players are basically lazy, and you know, they're selfish and they're spoiled, things like that. So what do you think about what he said about that? Do you agree with that?
I agree that they're lazy, but they don't know they're lazy. When I was living in Europe, even in America to some extent, I knew that there was players out there practicing more. When I went to America, I practiced my socks off. You know, I was like 14 hours a day sometimes. So yeah, I'd have to agree with them, but it's only because they don't really know what you really have to put in if you want to be on top. And if they knew, or if they had any inkling or idea, they wouldn't be. So I guess lazy is the wrong word. They're just a little... They don't really know what you have to put in to be the best. So yeah, that's what I have to say about it.
So with that said, are you comfortable that you're going to be able to make the transition into that environment smoothly?
Comfortable? I'm a little, like... I want to know how well I'm going to do. Like, I know I've put in lots of hours in the EG house, and I believe it's something I can do. It's something I really want to do too, which is the main, like, that's the key point. I want to do it. So I think I'm going to be fine. And practicing multiple hours a day, if you're a pro gamer, if you're an aspiring pro gamer even, that's something that you know you have to do. And my mindset, I just want to improve now. Like, I spent so long with arm injuries, and during that time when I couldn't play, my motivation was just building up, like shaking a champagne bottle, you know. And now that I can play again, I just want to make the most of it. So, yeah, I'm not going to waste any time.
All right, so moving on a little bit to Europe. The scene in Europe is obviously thriving. A ton of StarCraft going on, big tournaments. But the same necessarily can't be said about the scene in the UK, where there really aren't that many top-level players and there aren't really that many huge tournaments. So do you think it's just a general lack of interest in the game in the country, or do you think it's the infrastructure? What exactly do you think is holding back the UK?
I couldn't put my finger on it, but the UK in general, like, for gaming-wise, they've been really interested in the wrong games. Back, like, 5 years ago, which, when Counter-Strike was huge, you know, the UK was really bad at Counter-Strike, and yet we still loved Counter-Strike a lot, so a lot of the tournaments revolved around it, but we didn't necessarily do well at it. In international tournaments, yeah, we'd be really bad. So I guess they've just been focused on the wrong games. Organizers themselves of, like, tournaments and stuff, they've just been failed gamers that have gone on to, like, management roles, and I don't think that's the best people to be put in charge of things like that. So I think it's the wrong people being in charge, too much focus on the wrong games, and actually marketing, like, gaming, it hasn't been done correctly. They'll try and market gaming in a way that it's still looked upon as really kind of antisocial and stuff, which, that's a really bad thing to do. Like, as you see here, there's so many people here that are so nice and stuff, and gamers in general, like, the actual people that play StarCraft 2, they're all really social guys. Like, they're all outgoing. Like, obviously you get your exceptions, but yeah, it's just been marketed really incorrectly. And gaming in the UK still, like, when I told my friends in high school even that I made, like, a little bit of money, like, from gaming, they were all, like, perplexed. So it's just an unknown thing, and it's going to continue to be unknown until somebody really knows what to do about it.
Okay, so as we've said, you had a lot of problems throughout this year. You had your arm troubles, you had the visa troubles, different things like that. So with all that happening, do you still consider 2011 a success, even without the major tournament win or, you know, the huge tournaments or anything like that?
Yes, I do. I got matched up with a really good team, EG, like, and I don't know if I'd be here, like, without them, you know. They've been really, really helpful. Through bad times, such as breaking my arm twice, visa troubles, they've been there every step of the way helping me out. At one point I was considering quitting, like, before I joined EG, so they've totally turned that around for me. And I kind of forgot the question, but no, I do class it as a success. I class it as an improvement from where I was. My mindset's totally different. Although the results haven't, like, kicked in yet, it's only a matter of time.
Right. So with that said, as you said, it's only a matter of time. What are your expectations for next year? With, you know, you're going to be living in Korea, you're going to be living in the EG house. So what are you expecting for yourself in 2012?
Without being too specific, there's going to be a tournament win somewhere under the belt, I'm pretty sure. When I was practicing in the EG house, internal practice, it went really good. Like, as Jeff said on, like, State of the Game and stuff, like, I was the EG ace, and that included, like, Puma and stuff. Like, I was doing really, really well in practice, and I'm kind of sad that this little break happened when it did. But yeah, it's again only a matter of time.
All right, so thank you very much for taking the time to sit down with us. Any last words, shout-outs, anything like that?
Shout-outs to EG and its sponsors, Intel, Monster, Steel Series, Kingston, and Beyond Gaming Clothing. Got to thank them all for putting me where I am. And shout-out to my family too. I kind of turned up in England randomly. I messaged my mum that morning in Heathrow, said, "Mum, I'm back in England," like, without any kind of, like, you know, before pre-warning, and she's like, "Okay," came and picked me up, and I stayed at her place. So thanks to all of those. Also, thanks to my teammates and stuff. Like, all while I've been in the UK, they've been messaging me, like, just saying, "Hey Ben, like, hope you're doing fine. Like, everything's cool over here. Can't wait for you to be back." So yeah, just got to thank everybody that's been involved, and yeah, I'm just well, it's been a bit of a down period for now, and this tournament is going very well. I'm looking forward to the future.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.